Hello, I welcome to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we will discuss the daily prelims MCQs from the Hindu, Indian Express and VAB. Let's get started. The first question. Consider the following statements regarding cervical cancer. It is a common virus transmitted through sexual contact. It is caused by the human papilloma virus. It is preventable as long as it is detected early and managed effectively. How many of the above statements are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. This was in news recently. The Union Budget 2024 and 2025 encourages vaccination against cervical cancer. The government will encourage vaccination for girls in the age group of 9 to 14 years for the prevention of cervical cancer. About the cervical cancer, it develops in a woman's cervix. The spread of the cervical cancer. Almost all cervical cancer cases are linked to infection with high-risk human papilloma viruses, an extremely common virus transmitted through sexual contact. Although most infections with HPV resolve spontaneously and cause no symptoms, persistent infection can cause cervical cancer in women. The prevalence of this cervical cancer is the fourth most common cancer in women. It is the second most common type of cancer in India for women. The prevention of this effective primarily HPV vaccination and secondarily prevention approaches that is nothing but screening for and treating precancerous lesions will prevent most cervical cancer cases. The treatment of this, when diagnosed, cervical cancer is one of the most successfully treatable forms of cancer as long as it is detected early and managed effectively. Cancer diagnosed in late stages can also be controlled with appropriate treatment and palliative care. The vaccination of cervical cancer. There are at present 2 vaccines available in the country against the human papilloma virus, which causes cervical cancer, namely Merck's Gardasil and Serum Institute of India's Survival. So the answer is all three. Moving to the next question. With reference to the multidimensional poverty in India, consider the following statements. Multidimensional poverty in India declined from 2013-14 to 2022-2023. Madhya Pradesh has topped the list of escaping poverty. Maternal health is not covered under the Indian Multidimensional Poverty Index. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none. Multidimensional poverty in India was found to decline from 2013-14 to 2022-2023. At the states level, Uttar Pradesh topped the list and followed by Bihar, Madhya Pradesh. The so-called poverty lines are actually expenditure levels that are considered minimum enough for someone to be called poor. Globally, the MPI uses 10 indicators covering 3 main areas. That was health, education, and standard of living. The health dimension includes nutrition and child, adolescent mortality indicators. The education dimension includes years of schooling and school attendance indicators. The standard of living dimensions include the 6 household specific indicators, that is nothing but housing, household assets, type of cooking fuel, access to sanitation, drinking water, and electricity. The Indian MPA has 2 additional indicators, that was maternal health, that is nothing but under the health dimension, and the bank account under the standard of living dimension. So the answer is only one, because UP has topped the list of escaping poverty and maternal health is covered under the Indian Multidimensional Poverty Index. Moving to the next question. Wheat blast, recently seen in the news, is a disease of wheat crop caused by which one of the following? Bacteria, virus, protozoa, fungus. Recently, researchers on modeling features wheat blast spread predict a 13% global wheat production reduction by the 2050 due to the fast-acting fungal diseases caused by the Magnaporte oryzae. Wheat blast affects various grasses, especially wheat, barley, lolium, and rice. It spreads through the infected seeds and spores, thriving in warm and humid conditions. Resist to fungicides. It includes the bleaching, lower yields, and poor seed quality, leading to crop burning as a preventive measure. The severity necessitates constant vigilance in regions with susceptible climates. So the answer is D, fungus. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about forest owlet. It is endemic to the forest of central India. As per IUCN Red List, it has a least concern. Which of the above statements are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. The back-to-back sightings of endangered forest owlet took place in the Melghat Tiger Reserves during a camp held recently. About this, it is a member of typical oval family, Strigidae. Scientific name of the Athene bleveti. It was first described in 1873 as it was not sighted after 1884. It was considered extinct for many years. In 1997, it was rediscovered. The distribution of this, it is endemic to the forest of central India. It was observed in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Gujarat, and at few locations in the Melghat Tiger Reserves in Maharashtra. The habitat of these, the natural ecosystems and habitats of these species include tropical and subtropical moist lowland woods, dense deciduous woodlands, open dry deciduous teak woods, and tropical and subtropical dry forest. It is a small and stocky. It measures 20 to 25 centimeters in length and weighing 240 grams. They eat rodents, reptiles such as lizards and skinks and insects. The conservation status of these IUCN Red List endangered CATES Appendix 1. The upper parts are dark grayish brown. The under parts are whitish with dark bearing. So the answer is one only because as per IUCN Red List, it has a endangered species. Not least concern. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements with respect to dusted Apollo. It is an extremely rare low altitude butterfly. Not all the Apollo species are protected under the Schedule 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Which of the above statement is correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. Dusted Apollo is a rare high-altitude butterfly that was recently sighted for the first time in Himachal Pradesh, indicating the flourishing diversity of Apollo butterflies in the region. Dusted Apollo, that is nothing but Parnassius stenosimus, is a rare high-altitude butterfly. Dusted Apollo is extremely rare and has never been photographed before in Himachal Pradesh. It closely resembles Ladakh banded Apollo, that is nothing but Parnassius stolonus. The distribution of dusted Apollo extends from Ladakh to West Nepal and it flies between 3,500 to 4,800 meters in the inner Himalayas. Apollos are considered commercially important butterflies and they fetch high prices in the poaching industry. Not all the Apollo species are protected under the Schedule 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. There are 11 Apollo species recorded from Himachal Pradesh and 5 of them are declared as a scheduled species. Most of the Apollo butterflies are now endangered and need immediate attention for their conservation and protection. Regal Apollo is a rare species that is protected under Schedule 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So the answer is to B, 2 only, because it is an extremely rare High altitude butterflies, not low altitude. Thank you. This is the today's session.